in this lecture, we're going to focus on global variables and see the default linkage that is assigned to them by the compiler. And this is going to lay ground to what we are about to do in the next lecture. So let's look at the global variables we have set up in the last lecture. We had a global variable declared in the main function. For example, the age variable here, which is not const. It's going to have external linkage by default. And what this means is that we can access this variable from other translation units. For example, we can go in some other file here and access that variable using the syntax here. We can use the external keyword here to tell the compiler that this is a declaration and not a definition of some variable. So this age variable here is defined in some other translation unit, and the compiler is going to go in those other translation units and use the value we have in there. This is not a definition of another variable. This is just a declaration. And if we go and use that, for example, in a function here, we will be accessing the value that we put in this variable when we defined it. So this is how external variables work. And this is a global variable, and we can use it anywhere in the file where it is declared. For example, we can use it in the main function here, past the point of declaration and the definition here. For example, past this point here, we can use the age variable, and you see we are using it in the main function here. And this is going to work. It is an external variable. After we declare it in some other translation unit, we can use it past the point of declaration here, and we can use it in our function here. And this is really what I want you to see. For constant global variables, the story is different. They have internal linkage. For example, for this distance variable here, it can only be used and accessed from the translation unit where it was declared. So for example, in the main CPP file here, we can use the distance variable, and it is going to be the same variable here. But if we go in some other translation unit and try to use it like we do here, this is not going to be the same variable we had in the main CPP file. This is not a declaration. This is a definition of a completely new and a different variable, and it's going to be living in a different memory location. So if we try and print it out here and see its address, we're going to see that what we see in here in this translation unit is different from what we have in the main function here. And we had a chance to look at that in the last lecture. But this is going to raise some problems. If you declare your constant like this, it is really possible that some people are going to want to use this variable even from other translation units, but by default, this is not going to work because this guy is going to have internal linkage. So we really want a way we can make our constants even have external linkage and be usable even from other translation units. And that's what we're going to be looking at in the next lecture. So go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.